We are getting one of the most unique and most mind-blowing supports in Wuthering Waves. Just imagine, one character who does not just heal, does not just buff, but can also make your toon break happen faster, boost enemy damage taken by up to 40%, and even save your whole team from dying. But unfortunately, her full potential only locks when she is paired with one specific character. Yes, today we are talking about Mornye, a new support who looks calm on the outside, but whose kit is full of surprises and can completely flip your gameplay upside down. So if you're curious how strong she really is, whether she is must pull or maybe even overrated, stay on this video, because we are going to break down her role, stats, forte, synergy, and all the pros and cons in the most complete Mornye breakdown you can find. Alright, let's get started. Mornye is a limited 5-star character with a fusion attribute who uses a broad blade as her weapon. She has a base defense of around 1300, along with additional 7.6% defense and 6% healing bonus when leveling up her talents. Her combat role is that of a support and a healer, able to restore HP through her forte circuit as well as her resonance skill, both of which scale with her defense stat. She also has the ability to reduce the damage your team takes, and even grants them a one-time chance to avoid being downed when receiving a fatal blow, something we will go into more detail later in the kit section. On top of that, Mornye can amplify the team's damage through her outro skill, increases enemies' damage taken to boost your team's overall output, and provide a defense boost. And since she's a heroic character, she naturally has interactions related to toon abilities, allowing her to respond to toon rupture and toon strain interfere to grant additional effects. What makes Mornye especially unique is her ability to increase the off-toon build-up rate, which speeds up how quickly the enemy's off-toon level rises, making toon breaks occur more frequently. Mornye has a forte bar called Rest Mass Energy, which holds up to 100 points. You can fill this bar simply by using her basic attack, resonance skill, or dodge counter. Once this default forte bar is full, her heavy attack becomes enhanced. When you activate it, Mornye leaps into the air and enters observation mode. In this mode, her basic attack changes and she creates a symphony field, attack nearby enemies, with its damage being counted as resonance liberation damage. This field lasts for 25 seconds. So what does this field actually do? When nearby resonators on your team stand inside the field, they receive HP regen every 3 seconds. Mornye also increases their off-toon build-up rate by 50%, allowing toon breaks to happen faster. The field also grants increased resistance to interruption for all resonators. In observation mode, Mornye gains a new forte bar called Relative Momentum, which also holds 100 points. You can fill this bar using her new set of basic attacks in this mode. Once it reaches 100 points, her heavy attack becomes enhanced again, and using it will inflict observation marker on all enemies for 30 seconds. Now, this marker only becomes useful when your team's resonator deal toon break damage to enemies that are already affected by toon rupture shifting or strain shifting. If those conditions are met, Mornye will apply an additional effect called the interfered marker. This interfered marker is what increases the enemy's damage taken, and the amount scales with Mornye's extra energy regen. Every 1% energy regen above 100% increases the damage taken by 0.25%, up to a maximum of 40%. Then, if any resonator in your team defeats enemy affected by both the observation marker and interfered marker, Mornye gains a special 3-second buff. This buff allows her to automatically apply another observation mark whenever her ally attacks. For now, it seems that only Linnea is capable of applying both toon rupture shifting and strain shifting to enemies, so it's safe to say that to fully maximize this part of her kit, Mornye is fairly dependent on Linnea. But we will see later whether this changes. For her resonance liberation, she attacks all enemies on the battlefield, and the damage of this attack increases based on her energy regen. For every 1% energy regen Mornye has above 100%, the crit rate and the crit damage of this attack increase by 0.5 and 1% respectively. The maximum bonus she can reach is 80% crit rate and 160% crit damage. If Mornye casts her ultimate while the Symphony Field is already active, she will upgrade it into an enhanced version called High Symphony Field. Inside this stronger field, allies inherit all the original benefits: interruption resistance, the 50% off-toon build-up rate, and HP regen. However, the HP regen in this enhanced field receive additional 40% multiplier. Mornye also gains extra 20% defense to all resonators inside it. So I think this enhanced field becomes especially valuable when you are running a carry who scales with defense. Meanwhile, her resonance skill has 2 different behaviors depending on the mode. In default mode, using her skill heals the entire team and puts her into a parry state. If she successfully parries an incoming enemy attack, the cooldown of her skill resets and she takes 100% reduced damage from that hit. But if no parry happens, Using a normal attack afterward will automatically transition her into the second stage of her basic attack chain. In observation mode, the skill no longer has a parry mechanic. Instead, it still provides healing but launch a hover cannon attack that deals fusion damage. Mornie can gain additional 10% energy regen thanks to her first inherent skill. When using her intro skill, she also restores 20 conceptual energy, which can only be triggered once every 20 seconds. The same effect also triggers when casting her enhanced basic attack stage 3. Then her second inherent skill grants a special team-wide buff whenever Mornie uses her resonance skill, regardless of the mode. This buff lasts for 1 minute and can be refreshed every 5 minutes. It works as powerful defensive layer. When other resonators take damage that exceeds 30% of their max HP, they will instead take damage equal to only 30% of their max HP. This effect can activate up to 3 times, after which the buff disappears. Not only that, while this special buff is active, if your team would receive a fatal blow, they won't be down. This effect can only occur once. Every time this special buff expires, the active resonators will receive healing equal to 150% of Mornie's defense. For her intro skill, she attacks the enemy with fusion damage, clears all her default forte, and immediately enters observation mode. This makes her second rotation much smoother than the first, since you won't need to manually fill the 100 default forte points again. As for her outro skill, there was some misunderstanding because some websites incorrectly stated that she gives 25% damage amplification only to coordinated attacks. In reality, this is a team-wide damage amplification, meaning she works as a universal support. Being a Lahairoi character also means she has the privilege to respond to Toon Rupture and Strength Interfered. When Mornie responds to Rupture Interfered, she deals follow-up damage whenever your team attacks, triggered once every 8 seconds. When responding to Toon Strength Interfered, Mornie gains a total damage bonus, where every point of Toon Break boost increases her total damage by 0.12%. And by having her in the team, she also increases the maximum stack of Toon Strength Interfered. Now let's talk about her resonance chain. Okay, I'm going to briefly explain this. For RC1, several of her enhanced abilities during observation mode, including her enhanced basic, heavy attacks, and resonance skill, are now immune to interruption. Mornie can also directly inflict interfered mark without relying on Toon Rupture or Strain Shifting, and its duration is increased by 150% seconds. When she applies an observation marker, she will also get interfered marker that increases the enemy's damage taken. This RC is really good if you don't have Linnae, because Mornie is no longer dependent on units that can inflict Toon Rupture or Strain Shift. For RC2, all types of field gain additional 20% of Toon build-up rate. The interfered mark is also upgraded. It increases the crit rate of any resonator who attacks the marked enemy by up to 30%. RC3 makes her enhanced resonance skill restore additional 20 concerto energy, and also immediately reveals her relative momentum forte bar. RC4 simply provides more healing while inside the enhanced symphony field. RC5 increases the multiplier of her resonance liberation and boosts the additional Toon Rupture response damage. And finally, RC6 allows her ultimate to deal 2 more instances of fusion damage. While she is off-field, she also gains concerto energy restoration and reduced ultimate cooldown. As for her signature weapon, this broad blade grants 77% energy regen to its user. It also provides additional 16% defense. Whenever you use a resonance skill, the user gains 8 concerto energy, but this effect can only trigger once every 20 seconds. When performing healing, the weapon grants 20% crit damage to all resonators on the team for 4 seconds. This passive is basically always active because the healing from Mornie's Symphony Field triggers once every 3 seconds, right? Since Mornie is a sustain and support unit who serve as the backbone of a team's survivability and can also provide a significant amount of damage amplification, she can actually fit into almost any team composition, whether it's Jinshi, Xiangliao, Augusta, Carlotta, Galbrena, Zhani, or Frolova. She works well with all of them. She also has the ability to increase off-tune level build-up, which means that after the upcoming 3.0 patch, your main carry will be able to deal additional damage through faster Toon Break triggers. However, without Linnae in the team, you lose a crucial part of Mornie's kit, her ability to increase enemy damage taken. Linnae is the one who provides the Toon Rupture and Strain Shifting required for Mornie's vulnerability effect to activate. Because of this, pairing her with Linnae allows you to build upgrade version of the classic Xiangliao team, or even Chalcaro, who highly appreciates both Linnae's resonance liberation damage amplification and Mornie's general damage amplification. You can also run Yuno's hyper carry since most of Yuno's damage count as resonance liberation as well. So overall, she can slot into many different teams, very similar to how Shorekeeper functions as a sustain and support, even though she's not necessarily better. Do you already have your own Mornie team comp ideas? If you do, feel free to let me know in the comments. So overall, she's really good support. She can increase off-tune build-up rate, and in fact, she's the first character who can provide this kind of buff, making Toon Breaks easier and much more frequent to trigger. Mornye also provides extremely strong sustain, so strong that it may genuinely be difficult for your characters to ever get downed. On top of that, Mornye improves your gameplay comfort by increasing interruption resistance for all characters inside her field. She can also increase the enemy's damage taken by up to 40%, and this debuff even carries over to the next wave, meaning you don't need to reapply observation and interviewed mark from scratch. Her outro also provides 25% team-wide damage amplification, and it won't disappear even if you keep switching characters. But of course, even though she looks powerful and extremely useful, she still has some drawbacks. Some of her multiplier scales from different stats. Her healing and liberation scale with defense, while her basic attack scales with attack. Another issue is her heavy dependency on Linne, because as of now, Linne is the only character who can inflict Toon Raptor Shift and Strain Shift before a Toon Break occurs. Without Linne, Mornye's 40% damage taken debuff simply won't active, which means the observation marker and interviewed marker becomes useless. And even though she can increase the enemy's damage taken, the duration is only 8 seconds, which definitely feels shorter than ideal. Technically, Mornye can function without Linne, but that functionality is basically locked behind RC1, which allows her to apply vulnerability without needing to Rapture Shift or Strain Shift. And that's the full kit breakdown for Mornye. She's a strong support overall, but it's unfortunate that she seems very dependent on Linne to function at her best. So what do you guys think about Mornye's kit? Are you satisfied with it or not interested at all? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, share this video with your friends, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!